grade 11, unit 6, coordination and homeostasis in human. So the two systems are responsible for coordination in human: nervous system and endocrine system. So here the adaptation of body according to the changes of external and internal environment. So external environment and internal environment. So there's some adaptation. Due to that, some adaptations happen in our body that we call coordination. So earlier you studied in grade 10-9, the change that takes place in the external environment we call stimulus. Stimulus means all changes happen in the environment, internally or externally. So that stimulus can be identified by sensory organ. So there are 5 sensory organ in human, that is eye, ear, nose, tongue, skin. So those we call receptors. So the changes happen in the environment are called stimulus. The stimulus can be detected by sensory organ. So the reaction for the stimulus, so due to stimulus there is some reaction regulated in our body that we call response. So the response always done by effector, muscles and glands. So that is changes happen in the external environment, that is stimulus, that is detected by sensory organ. After that our body makes some reaction for that stimulus, that is response. Response is made by effector, muscles and glands. So the two systems responsible for coordination: nervous system, that is by nerves, and the endocrine system, that is chemical coordination, that is done by hormones. So the nervous coordination, the nervous system divided into two types: central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. So the central nervous system, there are two parts: brain and spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system means the nerves originated from brain and spinal cord spread all over the body. That is the peripheral nervous system. So the nerves originated from brain, cranial nerves, that is 12 pairs. The nerves originated from spinal cord, that is spinal nerves, 31 pairs. Now when you see this nervous system, you know this is brain and the spinal cord. The brain is continued as spinal cord. So the brain and the spinal cord are central nervous system. So you know the nerves originated from brain and the nerves spread to all over the body. So these nerves, peripheral nervous system. So the nerves originated from the brain is cranial nerves, that is 12 pairs, and the originated from spinal cord, that is 31 pairs. So same way the brain, there are 3 parts: cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata. Cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata, there are 3 parts. So the central nervous system, that is protected by, that is brain and the spinal cord protected by, first by bones, that is brain by skull or cranium. Brain is protected by skull, and the spinal cord protected by vertebral column. Vertebral column and the skull are bones, right? So these are protecting, skull and the vertebral column protects. Second, 3 meninges, that is the central nervous system, that is brain and the spinal cord, are surrounded by 3 membranes, that is the meninges. And between the meninges and the brain cavities, there is a fluid that we call cerebrospinal fluid. So when you take here, this is the skull is protected, the brain is protected by skull, and the spinal cord is protected by vertebral column. Vertebral column is here. So inside the vertebral column the spinal cord goes. So the other one, 3 membranes here, that is going around this central nervous system, brain and the spinal cord. So between those meninges there is a fluid, that is cerebrospinal fluid. So the function of cerebrospinal fluid, that is support bouncy to brain and the spinal cord, that is giving support without any shocks like that, absorption of shocks and jerks, and the protection against microbial infection, right? It prevents from the microbial act, and desiccation. Desiccation means without water loss, without drying. Protect from temperature fluctuation. When the environmental temperature changes, there is the brain adapted for that temperature. There is a part called in the brain, that is hypothalamus, that is that hypothalamus is responsible to regulate our body temperature, because we are warm blooded animals. When the environmental temperature changes, even our body temperature should change to that, that is to keep our body temperature constant. So next we are going to see about the brain. So already I told you, brain has three parts: cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. So this is the structure of brain. So when you see the brain, here the large area we call cerebrum. This is the cerebrum. There are, that is folded like this, folded. So here you can there is a cleft, that is cleft here. You can divide the cerebrum into right and left hemisphere, right and left hemisphere, this side right, left hemisphere. So there is, it is folded to increase the surface area. Therefore the more nerve cells are present here, so to make the function efficient. And here this we call cerebellum, this we call cerebellum. There is a part here, and front of this here, this is the medulla oblongata. This is medulla oblongata, that is continued as spinal cord. So here there is a gland, pituitary gland. You will study later in the endocrine system. The pituitary gland is the that is main gland that is control all endocrine glands, that is the pituitary gland. The hypothalamus also here. The hypothalamus regulate the body temperature in our body. So these are the main parts of the brain. So here when you take the that is transverse section or transverse section of this brain like this, when you cut it, you can notice the outermost layer is a gray color, that is the gray matter. The interior part white color, that is white matter. So you earlier studied in unit 1, there are three types of neurons. That is, you know, the myelin sheath is present in the axon. Myelin sheath is, that is made with lipids, so that is in the axon. So the cell body and the fibers are there. So here in the nerve cells, neurons. So the white matter, that means the white matter region, it has fibers with myelin sheath. Myelin sheath is lipid, therefore white color. The outermost layer, outer part is gray matter, that is with cell bodies. Cell bodies, you know, the neuron consists cell bodies and the fibers, that is dendrites and axon. So the axon has the myelin sheath that is made with lipids. So here the interior part with myelin sheath fibers, that's why that is white color, white matter. The outer part with cell bodies, so that with gray matter. So this is the interior part of the brain. So the peripheral region of the brain is, that is outer layer, composed of gray matter. So there it has cell bodies, and the interior with white matter. So white matter, that is fibers with myelin sheath. So cerebrum. Now we studied about the cerebrum, highly developed part of the brain, because very large more neurons are present there, that is folded to increase the surface area. So highly developed part of the brain. It is divided into left and right hemisphere. I told you there is a cleft, so you can divide into left and right hemisphere. The left hemisphere controls the right half of the body. That means now here see the right and left side. So the nerves originated from right side controls the left part of the body. The nerves go to left part of the body. Like that, the left side, the nerves go to right side of the body. So the opposite side body organs are controlled by nerves originated from the cerebrum. So it is divided, that is the left hemisphere controls the right half of the body and the right hemisphere controls the left part of the body. So the right side brain get affected or that is in accident that get damaged, so left side organs become paralyzed. The cortex is highly convoluted to increase the surface area, that is folded to increase the surface area. Here the functions of cerebrum, perception of impulses from receptors. So that means it accept that is stimulus from the receptors. Identifying received information and storing. They get impulse from the receptors and identifying and storing. Second, perception of senses. That means all senses are identified by cerebrum. That means from the all sense organs, the nerves are connected to the cerebrum. Perform high mental activities, that is learning, intelligence, thinking, memory, like high mental activities. Controlling of voluntary muscle contraction. Voluntary muscles means, you know, the legs, hands, all we can control the muscles. So that is made by cerebrum. Next one, cerebellum. It consists of two hemispheres. Here also two hemispheres are there. The same way the grey matter outside and the white matter inside. The functions, maintenance of body balance. This is the main function of cerebellum, to balance our body. So we can walk with two legs, that is balancing. Control of voluntary muscles activity. Same way here. Involved in maintenance of body movement. It makes our body movement. Medulla oblongata functions control involuntary actions without knowing. You know, the internal organs, the heartbeat and the respiration, all are controlled without knowing. So that is controlled by medulla oblongata. And control reflex action. Reflex action means quick actions. That is vomiting we can't control. Coughing, swallowing, those are controlled by medulla oblongata. So very careful, the medulla oblongata should be protected. If it get injured, that is severely attacked, what happen? The heartbeat, respiration stops. So the person will die. Next one. So these are the parts of the brain and the spinal cord. Next one, we are going to see about the spinal cord. The spinal cord is making reflex action. Reflex action means that is related to external environment, but with sudden action. Without thinking, we make some sudden action. That means when we touch a hot thing, we take out our hand quickly. Without thinking, we take out. So that is the reflex action. So this is the spinal cord cross section. This is the cross section of the spinal cord. So when you take the spinal cord here, this is cross section. When you take the cross section, so the cross section here, the reverse, that is grey matter is inside and the white matter outside. In the brain, white matter inside, grey matter outside. Here the other way. There is a canal. Here is a canal is here, central canal. So this is filled with cerebrospinal fluid and it is protected by bones. What is the bone? Vertebral column. So now here we studied 31 pairs of cranial nerves originated from the spinal cord. So each nerve has two roots, dorsal root and the ventral root. So here this is the spinal nerve, this side. So but when it is originated, it originated with two roots, dorsal root and ventral root, and after that is connected as nerve, right? So the nerve, this is the spinal nerve. When the spinal nerve starting from the spinal cord, it starts with two roots. So that is dorsal root and ventral root. Dorsal root means the outside, dorsal outside, ventral inside. When you take the vertebra, that is the spinal cord, the outside dorsal root and inside, from inside ventral root. So dorsal root and ventral root, and after that it combined as spinal nerve. So the both sides it originate, 31 pairs. So here see the dorsal root and the ventral root. So how we can identify the dorsal root and ventral root? The sensory, three types of neurons we studied. That is sensory neuron carrying impulse from sense organ to central nervous system. Motor neuron from central nervous system to effector. Intermediate neuron, that is inside the central nervous system in the brain or a spinal cord. This is the intermediate neuron. So what happened? The sensory neuron carry impulse from receptor, that is sense organ. So it is carrying impulse here. So you know the structure of sensory neuron. The cell body is in the middle of the neuron. The first unit you studied, the sensory neuron, the cell body is the middle of the neuron. So the cell body is middle of the neuron, that makes a knot in the root. The cell body is here, so this place become little bit thick, right? So this place we call dorsal root ganglion. How do you call? Dorsal root ganglion. So only dorsal root has this ganglion. Ventral root no ganglion, right? So the ganglion is present at the dorsal root because of the sensory neuron cell body is present here. So sensory neuron bring impulse from receptor to the central nervous system. So here there is a cell body, and after that it transferred to the intermediate neuron. Then it takes response from the central nervous system to effector, to the muscles. So that is motor neuron. The motor neuron structure, you know, the dendrites are very short and the axon is very long. So the cell body is inside the central nervous system. So the cell body of intermediate neuron and the motor neuron are inside the central nervous system. Only the cell body of sensory neuron is outside the central nervous system. So that only making a ganglion in the dorsal root. Therefore the motor neuron is going through ventral root. So if ganglion is present, that is dorsal root. So sensory neuron is going through that. No ganglion, that is ventral root. So motor neuron is going through the ventral root. So this is the structure of spinal cord, and here the impulse carried by, that is from the receptor, sensory neuron, intermediate neuron, motor neuron and effector. So here this we call reflex arc. Reflex arc means the path of the reflex action. So here see, each spinal nerve has two roots. Dorsal root, presence of sensory neuron, and the ventral root, presence of motor neuron. Here peripherally white matter. I told you outside white matter and interiorly gray matter is present in the spinal cord. The spinal nerves start symmetrically at either side of the spinal cord. Both sides it starts. A sudden involuntary responses to a particular stimulus is called reflex action. That is very quick action. So that is the, now when we drive, if a person is crossing the road, suddenly we apply the brake without thinking. That is reflex action. They take place without the consciousness of the involvement of the brain. Then the functional unit of the nervous system is reflex arc. Carefully listen. The structural unit of nervous system is neuron. Functional unit of the nervous system is reflex arc. This is the functional unit. So that is receptor, sensory neuron, spinal cord, that is interneuron, motor neuron and effector. So due to cell body of sensory neuron, dorsal root has ganglion there. Next one, the spinal reflexes. Reflex action by spinal, moving the hand away from hot surface, lifting the leg when you step on the stone, right? Quickly you raise your leg. Cranial reflexes, sneezing, salivation, blinking eyelid, salivation, you without knowing that will done, and blinking eyelids. The next nervous system, autonomic nervous system. Actually the autonomic nervous system, the nerves are that is connected to internal organs, that is stomach, liver and that is liver, kidney, like that. So that is connected to nervous system. So you know these nerves cannot be controlled by us. That is it shows the involuntary actions. So here this nervous system coordinates involuntarily activities in the body. Hypothalamus and medulla oblongata. So actually the nerves are coming from medulla oblongata and the hypothalamus, which controls the temperature. So it has two parts. Sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system means that is increased size of the pupil in the eye, heartbeat rate increase, the rate of aeration, that is respiration, it increase, decrease saliva secretion and peristalsis of digestive system, so they decrease. Parasympathetic nervous system always do the opposite reactions of sympathetic nervous system. Now if sympathetic nervous system increase size of the pupil, this will decrease the size of the pupil. So these are the types of this is the nervous system. So next lesson I'll teach you the chemical coordination.